My number one fiction read for the month of November is a collection of short stories from a writer that I thoroughly enjoy, but also know has a lot of controversy surrounding his name. So let's start off with why some people may not want to read this. This is by the author Sherman Alexie. This collection of short stories was first published in the early 1990s when not a lot was yet known about Sherman Alexie's behavior. In fact, it's only been in the last few years that women have felt brave enough to come up and talk about the harassment that they felt and how he used his power dynamics in the indigenous community in an unsavory way with some of the women that he interacted with. This is important to note because for some people, that's going to be enough for them to be like, I'm never going to give him a chance. And that's totally valid if that's your opinion. Now, not to make excuses on my part, just to give you some context, when it comes to my journey with this author, the first thing that I ever read by him was his memoir. In light of everything that's come out, pretty heartbreaking considering that he too suffered from abuse when he was growing up and in his formative years. From there, I have to admit, I heard rumblings, I read the articles. This is an author that I feel better about buying secondhand or used because, you know, the taint on my soul. All of that's important because knowing that he has those allegations and accusations against him, you can kind of see it in the female characters that he writes. And I say this from one of the other novels that I've read and from the short stories that are in here. So if you've been reading Sherman Alexie and you like his writing, but he kind of gives you the ick when it comes to female characters, valid feelings. That being said, I obviously do feel some type of emotion when it comes to his other characters. This is a heavy read. This is about life on the reservation, and it focuses on a couple different families. So these are like interlocking stories. As a secondhand book, it was already annotated by the reader before me. I found that I also was touched by the things that they were reading. It seems that I had an affinity when it came to the Builds the Fire family, specifically Thomas and his grandfather Samuel's storylines. This was the book that made me cry the most out of all the books that I read in November, 3 total times, sobbing hysterically hard. Even the good story got me. This might have been a 5-star read recommendation for me. I understand that for others, this is an automatic no-go. I get it. If you have any better suggestions or just books that would cleanse the soul, knowing all that, make sure you share it in the comments below.